Westminster Abbey, 9:45 a.m. Clouds press low over London. The streets are silent, the kind of silence that's earned, not asked for. Black coats, folded programs, tears wiped quickly, and there, standing at perfect attention among the ceremonial detail, is Queen's Guard Elliot Bramley, 41, a veteran, a symbol, a statue. He does not blink. He does not flinch, not even when the bells toll. Among thousands gathered stands a frail figure, an old man, late 80s, dark brown suit, military shoes, no umbrella, no aid. He walks alone, not in the front row, not in the spotlight, but those who notice him can't look away. He stands not near the royals, but near the guards, facing Elliot. As the coffin is brought in, Guard Elliot doesn't move, but his mind drifts, just slightly, to a parade ground in 1991. Queen Elizabeth is visiting a veteran hospital. She bends to speak to a wounded soldier. That soldier? Elliot Bramley, age 8, visiting his dying father. The Queen had stayed, longer than protocol allowed. The old man shifts. From under his coat, a military medal falls from his pocket, clinks against the stone. People turn. Security eyes him. The old man doesn't flinch. He just looks at the guard. Elliot sees him and recognizes the pin on the lapel. It's a faded insignia. Royal Engineers, World War II. Elliot's breath catches. That division was led by one man who received the Queen's highest wartime recognition, but disappeared after the war. Rumor said he lived in silence, that he never met the Queen again. This man is that soldier. The medal still rests on the stone. No one picks it up, not even the man who dropped it. It lies there, gleaming faintly. Guard Elliot Bramley sees it. So does the line of mourners. So do the cameras. But no one moves, because this is Her Majesty's final hour, and even grief must follow protocol. Inside Elliot's mind, something stirs. A hand from the past, her hand, reaching out to comfort an 8-year-old boy beside his dying father. He remembers the Queen's exact words. The silence we hold for the fallen is also for the ones they leave behind. He had never told anyone, never spoken of that day. Until now, it was just a memory. The old man doesn't look around. He just stares at Elliot. Not threatening, not desperate. Just full of something Elliot hadn't seen in years. Weight. The weight of a man carrying 80 years of service and no chance to say goodbye. Inside Elliot's chest, duty and something deeper. His training screams, "Do not move. Do not break formation. You are the guard." But the child inside, the one the Queen spoke to, whispers something else. You don't let silence bury the living. Another guard across the line notices Elliot's focus. A tiny eye movement. Nothing more. But they know each other. They've drilled for years. That flicker? It's enough to raise questions. Is he about to move? A sudden breeze sweeps across the courtyard. Petals fall from the Queen's casket. The crowd holds its breath. The old man, despite his age, straightens his spine. He lifts his arm, not in salute, but to rest it over his heart. A civilian's tribute. And it shakes Elliot harder than a bullet ever did. Inside his head, Elliot hears no command. But he feels one. From every year he served. From every oath he swore. From every silent sacrifice the Queen made for men like this one. He had been trained to protect the sovereign, but no one trained him for her death. And yet, here stands a man who did. Everything slows. He knows the world is watching. He knows every second is recorded. But Elliot has stopped caring about the world. He cares about one thing, not letting this man mourn alone. Time has slowed. Every tourist, every soldier, every royal and civilian, all eyes are on the Queen's casket. But Elliot's gaze is fixed only on the old man standing beyond the barrier. The one who dropped his medal. The one with a history no one else seems to remember. His hand, weathered and trembling, still rests on his chest. And Elliot feels it again. Not pressure, but permission. A moment not in any manual. Not in any chain of command. A breath. Elliot shifts weight from his left boot to his right. Almost imperceptible. But for a Queen's guard, that's thunder. A woman in the crowd gasps. A child tugs at his father's sleeve. A journalist lowers his camera. They all sense something is coming. And then Elliot steps forward. The old man's eyes widen, not in fear, but recognition. The guard stops 3 paces in front of him, turns. And finally, after nearly 4 hours of motionless tribute, he kneels. With both white-gloved hands, he lifts the fallen medal from the stone, stands, steps forward, and pins it to the old man's chest. The moment holds. The courtyard is silent, but the guard's eyes speak. He does not salute. He does not bow. Instead, he whispers, barely audible, but the mics catch it. "She remembered you." The old man chokes. And then, slowly, he salutes. Perfectly. The kind of salute not seen in decades. Sharp, timed, timeless. Elliot returns to position. Stands again. But this time, he is not still. Inside him, everything has moved. And outside, so has the nation. The moment floods the internet. Headlines roll. Royal Guard breaks formation to honor forgotten hero. Silence shattered with one salute. He broke protocol and made history. Across the UK, candlelight vigils form. people replay the footage again and again, but what touches them most isn't the medal, it's the kneel. A week later, Buckingham. Elliot receives a letter. It is from the new sovereign. Inside, handwritten ink. In breaking the rules, you honored the woman who made them. She would have done the same. Attached, a single silver bar, an official commendation. Not for silence, but for humanity. Months pass. A bench is installed in a small garden behind the abbey. On it, for the ones who remembered her and were remembered in return. The old man visits weekly, sometimes with children, sometimes alone. He sits, he watches, and occasionally he touches the medal that still rests on his chest. Final day of guard service. Elliot folds his uniform one last time. He walks the perimeter of the courtyard, then stands still. No tourists, no cameras, just silence. He closes his eyes and says, "For her, for him, for all of them." He was trained not to move, not to flinch, not to feel. But when a forgotten soldier stood without recognition, he moved. Because sometimes the last act of loyalty is not silence, it's memory.